The 8th of March 2023, and everyone is celebrating our women here in the world. It is International Women's Day, and of course we stand in solidarity with our women who are greatest partners in our lives as well, and everyone also in this panel appreciates our women. I'll give them a sporting chance to do that as well, just to say, you know, you, from the deepest recesses of our hearts, you've been an encouragement. You've been, as they always say, a tower of safety in times of trouble as well. And we'll be talking about that also much later in the course of the program to see what are some of the salient points, especially looking at women and equality in the corporate sector, in the public service. How has that really been streamlined? We're still grappling with that here in the country, especially the constitution of the boards. When we look at the corporate sector, when we also look at even the government positions as well, the gender rule, two-third gender rule has not been honored. And that was a crisis even with the previous administration, and we had the previous CJ, David Maraga, also advising the president to, of course, dissolve parliament, as it were. So we will to discuss a raft of issues today, looking at what is happening currently, especially in Tunisia. We have also the US who are sending the Ukrainian pilots in the US to train on the F-16. What does it really portend? This has not happened in a while, and that war continues. It has now been 2 years, and we take a stock of this war. How will it be protracted, and how long will it be? Are sanctions really working in Russia even after 2 years? All it has really emboldened Russia, as it were. Emmanuel Macron was in Congo, and we will be discussing that as well. Georgiana had a very scathing attack on France regarding how they pilfer the wealth of Africa. We'll also just run you by that so that we can discuss. Nigeria election has been a contentious one. I don't know if any of our panelists, they've been observers there here. They'll tell us this morning if they were in Nigeria and how it really panned out as well. But allow me to just introduce my panelists before we see what is in our dailies today. I begin by, of course, inviting Professor Noami Dama. Good to see you. Good morning.
Good to see you, Dibal.
Fantastic. How are you?
It's a wonderful day
yes.
For women and for the world.
Yes.
My father said to me that every woman represents your mother.
Every woman represents your mother.
Yes.
So,
so we have to treat women appropriately without just making statement. It has to come from the heart.
It has to come from the heart, indeed. Let me hear from also Dr. Hassan Kanenje, the director of the Horn Institute. Good morning.
Good morning, Dibal. Indeed, I do agree with Prof. I think as we celebrate International Women's Day, we need to remember that indeed women are actually the unspoken heroes in our society. They do a whole lot more than they're appreciated. And I've always made an argument that there is being a stay-at-home mom, for instance, is also a lot of work. In fact, is a full-time job. And so to the extent that we don't appreciate the work they do in actually nurturing all of us, sometimes, you know, I think it is unjust. And so I just want to say kudos to all the women out there. They are our daughters, they are our sisters and our mothers, and we really celebrate them. And hopefully we are going to realize the truth, that gender role across you know, different sectors, because right now we're not there yet, and I think we need to do more. Of course, we understand the controversy sometimes when it comes to elected positions, but I think those are the teething problems of a new dispensation.
Indeed. Right. Professor Kagwanja, let's hear from you as well.
Well, I was personally brought up in the very delicate part of my life by my grandmother.
Yes.
Her name was Wanjiko. So you can just imagine what that means to me. But the best thing that would happen to me was when my mother came home, because she brought all the goodies, because she was working from Nairobi, you know. Then I just happened to be a lucky one that was brought up with the two sisters, me and two sisters. So to an extent I was spoiled by the two sisters. And so the mother figure, the sister figure, the grandmother, and now I just happen to have been, you know, for many years, the father of daughters. And so the woman figure is very, very strong in my life. And I think, I don't think, so today I looked at Google Doodly and I found that they have included all those categories of women, from my daughter, my wife, my sisters, my mother, my grandmother, they are all there. So I want to take this opportunity to thank all those women in our lives, make it comfortable. Louis White, the writer, used to talk about the comforts of home. She had a different way of looking at it, the comforts of home. But I see a home as a nursery. I mean, it's really a nursing home because the world, by and large, is usually cruel, full of competition, particularly for the boy child. So when you get home to that home where the mother, the grandmother, the sister, your daughter, and everybody bring that soft part of humanity, it's very nice.
Indeed, thank you. Right, Hamid Hashi, good morning.
I'd like to remember my late wife, Wahis Dir, who made something out of me. My 4 daughters, Inda, Abian, Awea, and Ladan. And my mom, Amina Said Farah. They have a lot to do with who I am. I would like to also report to you, my panel, that Professor Catherine Akinyi Mohoma, in line with the women's, the Deputy Vice Chair of Mombasa University, met with me the other day. And, you know, the show has become a monster. And everybody is watching and talking about it. And our class and the department watch it. And we want to welcome you to the show. Mombasa University, Asanteni Sana. Yeah.
Muhumma is an auntie to one of my daughters.
Oh, really?
Yes, she's among the ladies who were there when Nyambura was born. So the world is so small, isn't it?
And I want to also add how I was taught by the West African philosopher Mariana Ba, the Zimbabwean philosopher Tsitsi Dangaremba, and the Senegalese philosopher Ousmane Sembène, who's got bits of words about struggles of women in this continent. And we want to tell the women of Africa to keep on rising.
Women of Africa keep on rising. And just looking also at the editorials, they're celebrating that. I'll just show that in a moment. It has been drawn by the cartoonist, especially Stano in the People Daily as well. And it's all about pink and the International Women's Day. I'll show you in a moment. But let's just see what the Standard and the other dailies are holding for us this morning, which we'll be discussing as well. And this is what is on the front page of the Standard this morning that you're waking up to. Budget boss Yatani at heart of 15 billion shillings riddle is what is splashed on the front page of the Standard today. Budget boss Yatani, it says here, let me try. Budget boss Yatani at heart of 15 billion shilling riddle.